Here I have some basils and marigolds that I planted together, and I'm going to go ahead and plant out my third green stock because I love to have pesto so much that I usually fill at least half of this green stock with basil, and we'll add some of those marigolds too. And these other two green stalks, you can see I've got my strawberries going strong, and I replanted some of them and I added some wonderful compost to all of those, and they are doing wonderful. So now let's start adding to our green stock for our summer season of herbs. So this looks really gross inside of my green stock, and this has been after a year of growing. It needs to be refreshed, and the holes that are in the bottom of the green stock, I need to make sure that they have nothing obstructing any water from getting down into it, because if it does, then the rest of this green stock will not get watered. First things first, go ahead and clean out the green stock. Just like I said before, this is really dirty. I've never had it be quite this dirty. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure to just kind of rinse it off and rinse it out and make sure that those holes, like I originally said, have a chance to be clear. And I can test that out too, specifically with the water. And if you can see, the water is going through all the 6 different holes. Next step in refreshing our green stock is to go ahead and take each layer apart. I do this just once a year. I know it seems like a pain, but it's worth it all, because like I said before, I want to make sure that all the holes are able to have water go through them, so the entire green stock is actually getting the water needed. I'm simply going to refresh with the organic blend of compost. So I'm just going to go ahead and rinse these off. This is my 3rd year having these green stalks, and they have been so easy to clean. You could take a brush, you could take your hands, and you just kind of make sure that nothing is stuck in those very important holes in the bottom. Honestly, this is the hardest part of the whole refreshing my green stock. I usually just take one of my 5 green stalks and do it at that time. I don't do them all at the same time. I would get a little overwhelmed. But by just doing one at a time, I'm actually able to pay attention and see that all the holes are clear and everything that I'm going to be planting out will be loved. So I still have some dead plants in this, and I don't want to really need to move the soil a whole lot, but I am going to take out some of the dead roots and things that were here before, just so that it gives space for the new plants that I'm going to be putting in. I don't want other root development to stop my new plants from growing. The next step after you take apart all of your pieces and go ahead and wash each of the centers to make sure that each center is clear for the water to go through, you're going to go ahead and add organic compost to your soil that you already have in your green stock. You don't have to put all new soil. You don't have to worry about that, because you're just replenishing the good soil that you already have had in there. With the green stock, one of the most important things to know, you want to make the level of the soil in the green stock at the very top of each pocket. The reason for this is when the sun is coming down on the green stock, your plants need to have the best ability to feel the sun. And if they're kind of hidden away inside of the pocket because they're farther down inside, like right here, then they don't get access to enough sun. So this soil will settle, and you want to make sure to fill it to the very top. Even during the middle of summer or during the middle of fall, sometimes I go ahead and I add some more compost or soil to make sure that it fills up to the very top. So I'm going to go ahead and add compost to each of these 4. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's going to be able to not have to fight any old roots. And I'm just refreshing this soil for the nutrients to really sink in and be used by my next season of plant. Now we're going to go ahead and plant out a set of the basil and the marigold that I started indoors. You can buy these at nurseries, but really easy to be able to grow. This took about 4 weeks of this seed to grow, and it didn't take a lot of energy on my part. And I'm gonna go ahead and dig a spot here. I wanna make sure that this is all nice and loosened up because I want my roots to be able to really take off in here. I could separate these a little bit right here like this and get them closer to the edge because that's where the sun is gonna hit them. And I know that the green stalk is gonna cut off about here. I try to plant it, like I said, as close to the edge as possible. And then I lightly press it down so that those plants feel secure. If I wanted to split these up, I definitely could. And this level is done in less than 5 minutes. Now to finish the other 5 and to put them all together for my green stock for summer. The final step is to go ahead and look at the holes and match those holes up to your plants. So make sure they line up in the middle. The roots need to be able to receive the water. That's one of the biggest mistakes of not matching those up. After you've put all of those matchups together, then put the final top on and make sure that it all connects. And then you're ready to start putting it all together, kind of like a puzzle piece. Make sure that everything connects up and locks in, so you don't have to worry about anything falling or going to the side whenever you need to move this vertical planter. To get even more great gardening tips, follow us at createmygarden.net, where you can get more things on GreenStalks and a ton of other ways to keep your garden growing all year.